All right, Jesse on fire. Welcome back, you guys. I just got done recording a video that is one of the most important videos I've ever done in my career because you guys are not going to believe this, but Logan Paul is threatening to sue me and destroy my career. So you can look forward to my forthcoming response, which I am going to set as a live premiere when it drops tomorrow. I'll probably make it for around noon Central tomorrow. My response to Logan's official on the record threat that I found out about from YouTube. YouTube told me Logan is threatening to sue you. So we're going to go into that. I'm not going to talk about it on the live stream. I have a nice big response coming tomorrow, but I am very excited to talk about this, okay? Because we got to talk about Bo Nickel, because I have not seen anyone mention a very, very, very important point related to his performance last night. Kind of bizarre. I think people are, that people are looking for the grabbiest headline, and they're like, Bo Nickel was a fraud all along. And it's like, I mean, obviously not a good performance, but did you guys not hear about this thing right here, which clearly is going to have quite a bit of impact on your impression of the fight if you haven't thought about this yet, but nonetheless, we'll get into that. Much more important than that, though, is this dude right here, because, oh my God. Okay, listen. So I have been recently mentioning on live streams. I don't say it in my videos, but I say it in live streams that, every once in a while now, I will partake in just a little bit of, which normally throughout my entire life was not something that was a major part of my life, because it would give me just a straight up anxiety attack every single time. I don't know what's happened in my advanced age now. It doesn't do that, where I can kind of be like, all right. And I only do it for, research purposes, because the reason it used to give me such an anxiety attack is because I can literally see exactly what people are. Okay. And that's really like, it sounds cool. Here's a crystal ball. You could see exactly what people are thinking and feeling all the time, to the point where you feel enveloped by it and you will be paralyzed by everyone's like paranoia. Then you'll start looking at yourself and then you'll really start freaking out. That was what it was always like. Now, not so much at all anymore, actually. And last night, I had two experiences like that. Number one, I watched that fight, Cory Sandhagen, last night in that state. Oh my God. That dude's my favorite fighter in the UFC now. I'm going to tell you that right now. Like, Cory Sandhagen is my favorite dude in the entire organization. Like, again, like I said, my whole experience with that particular substance has been exactly as I described it. I'd smoke, I'd watch a movie, and I'm like, I can't see the movie because all I can see is the actor playing the person. Or like, I think about some conversation that I had, and then I realize, wait, the reason you said that has nothing to do with why you think that you said it. You did that because of, and I'll trace it back to some weird insecurity that I had about something. And I'm like, oh my God. And I would just tear myself apart like that. But also, like I said, I could do it on other people, and I could see exactly what they are. Like, what they are in that, what they are as a person, what they are in that moment. And there's no other way that I know how to do that without it. And watching Cory last night was fucking unreal, dude. Like, do you understand how good that guy is? Like, do you have any idea how fucking good Sandhagen is? He was so locked in last night. Like, he was, every second of his interaction with Figueiredo, from the moment they were in the cage until the end of the fight, he was running him over. He was fucking running him over before they even came into the center of the cage. Like, if you actually watch it, if you have that same ability to do that, like, look at people and really, like, feel what they are, I'm telling you, watch that fight again. And just look at, Cory's on the other side of the cage. He is a bulldozer, dude. Like, he was going to bulldoze Figueiredo last night. There was no other outcome that was going to happen. He was going to run him the fuck over. And that's exactly what he did. Flawless. My favorite part of the fight was at the beginning of the second round when he started throwing those leg kicks. Like if you want to like cheat sheet it, and kind of be like, oh, like I just want to kind of see what Jesse's talking about before I commit all this time to watching it. Go to the beginning of the second round and watch him throw the first like 3 or 4 leg kicks. Just watch his energy. Like it was, a guy is a killing machine. And I've always had a special affinity for Cory Sandhagen for a very specific reason that I've been talking about since I started this channel. Okay. Tattoos tell a lot about a person. If they are actually just in general, like you can see so much about a person based on their tattoos. Like if you see a person that is kind of young and they have like a full sleeve with like a cross and Jesus and shit, and you're like, hey man, do you go to like, when was the last time you were at church? If they're like, well, no, I'm Christian, but I don't really go to church. It's like, so you are a floater. Like you don't have anything that you don't have anything in the ground. Like there's nothing in the ground for you because you can't think of anything that would make sense for a tattoo. So you just throw Christianity on you when you don't even go to church. Okay. Later on you'll figure out, maybe you'll get Jesus later, but you just did a whole sleeve Jesus thing and you don't go to church. I know a lot about you now. Right. And like, if, where are people's tattoos located? Okay. Where are tattoos located? Okay. So like my tattoos are on my arms, hand, chest, places that people will see them. Okay. So it's like, clearly that's a message I've been unconsciously or consciously trying to communicate to the world. Where do I want my tattoos? It's like everywhere people will see them. Okay. But not on my neck because I'm a professional person, right? I don't want people to think I'm some fucking, live to die guy, right? Sandhagen has, I know he's got that thing on his leg also now, I don't know, but he had essentially no visible tattoos, none. And then he takes his shirt off and his entire back is a fucking one gigantic piece, okay? What does that tell you about that guy? Okay? What does that tell you about Cory Sandhagen? That dude is the most dangerous kind of person in the world. He intentionally does not want you to see him coming. Okay? Like think about that messages. He's walking around, he's 150 pounds walking around. People look at him, they don't see anything. And then but if you challenge him, he's like, takes his shirt off and you realize you just fucked with a dragon. Okay? And that's exactly what that guy is. He is a fucking killing machine. And what he was talking about after the fight, I loved everything about his post-fight. Oh my God, his post-fight was amazing, dude. Like his post-fight was amazing. I'll show you some of his interview, but I want to start with a couple of things that he said. One of the things that he said that just drilled into my brain was he was like, when I get to the end of my week, I have nothing left to give. I've given every single thing that I have in the gym. I've got nothing left that week. And I thought about that after. I'm like, so most people will never, and I mean, I'm talking 99.9999999 whatever percent of people will never know what they were truly capable of if they excluded every other priority in their life. That nothing else matters except for the pursuit of one thing, greatness at this one thing. And it's the only thing you do. And if there's a decision to be made, it is made exclusively with the criteria that looks like this. Is this going to make me better, more equipped to attain this goal, worse, or indifferent? Okay. If it's indifferent, then they might do it. If it's better, they will definitely do it. If it's going to make it worse, they will not do it. Do you think he smokes cigarettes? Hey, do you guys think he drinks? Right? Anything he puts in his body that changes his brain, chemistry, I guarantee you has been considered with a fine-tooth comb whether that is going to have any negative impact whatsoever on his pursuit of being the best fighter in the world. And if it would, he doesn't do it. Like that dude, and I'm talking pro fighters, man. Probably 90%, maybe more than 90% of fighters will end their career with that thought in their head. It's like, what if I would have just fucking buckled down for 3 years and straight up, no partying, no girls, nothing but the gym, like literally nothing but this life, like nothing else. Spartan life, whatever. No one does that. That fucking guy does it. That guy does it. Cory fucking Sandhagen does that. And that's why I'm serious. Like I've never like that last night was the most impactful fucking viewing experience for me ever. I'm like, I will root for this dude over anyone. He could be fighting my cousin. I'd fucking root for Cory Sandhagen. It would, oh God. And okay, wait, hang on. I want to play some of this also because the way the fight ended, I think people thought that was like some like fluke injury. Like, and even the commentators were like, oh, I think it was an injury. I'm like, yeah, it was a fucking injury that Cory Sandhagen very intentionally did to Deiveson Figueiredo. You know, like, but first of all, okay, no offense. Like, I'm a big Deiveson Figueiredo fan also. But hey, word to the wise. If Ryan Hall is in the opposing team's corner, maybe not leg locks, you know? Like fucking maybe not leg locks. He's like, hey, who's that guy? Ryan Hall. How do I remember that guy? Is he the guy who was undefeated in UFC with essentially no elite skills except he was so fucking good at leg locks that he was just kept beating everyone? Yeah, that's that guy. You're all, what do you mean like no other elite skills? You're like, if this was a boxing match, like, I mean, he'd be the first to tell you, like, he doesn't have UFC level skills in anything else, but he's so incredible at leg locks that he was like 8-0 in the UFC or something, 9-0, whatever. And it was Ilia Topuria that knocked him out, I'm pretty sure. Okay. That guy's in the corner, not leg locks day. It's not leg lock day, dude. It is the fucking opposite of leg lock day. And you could tell every time. So like, I'm not fantastic at leg locks yet. I mean, I know enough to be dangerous. I'm good at attacking like straight ankle locks, straight foot locks, but like heel hooks and stuff, I'm not awesome at. But like, I certainly know enough to be able to recognize which of the two guys is in control of a leg entanglement. And Cory Sandhagen looked like he was fucking he could have been like making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with his like hands while he was dealing with Deiveson Figueiredo. He knew exactly what he was doing. Like he knew exactly what he was doing. And ultimately, 50-50, Deiveson didn't know to sit back. He popped his knee. And listen to how confident Cory Sandhagen is when he talks about his skills with leg locks. It's fucking amazing.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Before we get on to your performance, I would like to start off with Deiveson. Are you surprised that he went for the leg lock again and again and again and wouldn't let go, even though it didn't seem like he had anything there?
Yeah, he didn't have that at all. I don't really know what he was doing. Even when I was hitting him, like he wasn't stopping. My arm hurts from hitting him with it. I don't know really what that was about, but you're not going to beat me at leg locks ever.
It's the fucking best comment ever. That is not like, that is one of the most gangster ass comments I've ever heard a UFC fighter give in an interview, specifically because it's Cory Sandhagen. Okay. Does Cory Sandhagen come out and talk a lot of shit at press conferences? Like, is Cory Sandhagen a guy who's like putting on a show and he's thinking about his character or whatever? He's the exact opposite of that. And they ask about leg locks, and his answer is, yeah, because you're not going to beat me at leg locks ever. There's nothing to add to that. He just stone faces it, dude. Like,
but you're not going to beat me at leg locks ever.
So second to that, then, it was ruled as a TKO via injury. But from where I was sitting, it looked like his knee was in a messed up position with your legs in it, and then he tapped. So I feel like that maybe should be a submission ruled. You carry the way.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a pop submission. You know, it was like the position's called 50-50. If you don't know how to play 50-50, you're going to pop your knee. I spun under. I went for a backside 50-50. It didn't hit. He got on top. I sat up really hard just to get on top. And if I sit up hard and you don't sit back, your knee is going to pop. It happened to TJ when I did that to him. It happened to Figgy. I heard it click really loud. So that wasn't like an accidental thing. That was like hey, Figgy, you're either going to sit down on your butt or we're popping your knee. And that's what happened.
Did you, when he was going for all these leg locks, then did you know that, oh, this 50-50 game is about to be open to me and this is the way I can finish the fight? Or were you just flowing in there and it just presented itself in the moment?
I win at 50-50 every time against all of these guys. I trained with the guy that invented the thing. Ryan Hall. So you will not beat me at 50-50. You can attack my legs all you want. Like, those are very technical spots, and I'm very good at those spots. So you're not going to win there, you know. At no point was I in danger.
Yeah. You said,
dude, he is cold as fucking ice, dude. That guy is such a fucking badass. Cold as I see. The thing is, though, is like he's actually a fire guy, though. But he, like, you know, like some guys are actually cold as ice. Like Islam Makhachev is like that. And other guys, like, you know, they're like, people are either fire or ice, you know, where they, like, you know, they contain their, like, fire and then, you know, push it in one direction, or, you know, their elite level stuff is like their ice, like Fedor Emelianenko. Perfect. He's the number one example ever of like, of his genuinely ice cold. Like, he's just completely relaxed, and other guys build a flame and then contain it. And Cory's definitely one of those guys, but the way he carries himself is just so fucking cold, dude. So cold. I'm going to talk about Bo in 1 second, but again, that I am so excited to watch Sandhagen fight against anybody at this point. Like, I cannot wait to see him fight for the title. That was the other thing that he did in his post-fight interview, where he talks about, you know, actually, you know what? I want to let him say this thing because the way he said it is going to be better than how I would do it.
You wanted to come into this fight and prove that you're at the top of your game and that you're ready for these title opportunities. You did that. You were a very dominant victory over Davison. Do you hope, or have you spoken to the UFC since you've left the cage 2 minutes ago, that you might be able to slide in as a backup for Newark?
I haven't talked to him. Me and my agency are going to talk to him, see what's kind of next. I think I deserve the title shot next, regardless. You know,
100,000% he deserves it.
And who else is there? Umar just fought for the belt, lost. Jan is coming off of a win, but also lost to both of the guys that are fighting. So I don't know how exciting that would be. And then I finished Figgy in a round and a half. Jan didn't finish Figgy. Jan got dropped by Figgy. Figgy, I think, maybe hit me one time. So I showed that I'm better. I showed that I'm the best guy, and I deserve to be next.
There is a chance.
Dude, you know what else I can tell about him? I told you guys, dude. Then I, you know, there's still like remnants of it, you know, the next day is what I could see in him also, like, about his personality is he is a very, very, like, kind of spreadsheet logical thinker in terms of, I can tell how he learns things in martial arts. And I guarantee he has one of those very, very effective, like, spreadsheet mentalities of, like, that. So those guys are so dangerous. The guys who think like that in jiu-jitsu, who, like, are really good at, like if you, in a different life, if this guy went to get his accounting degree, he would have been an exceptional accountant. Those guys, they can build these formulas for their spreadsheets, but instead they're athletes and they apply it to jiu-jitsu. He's got one of those. If you just hear, like, most guys are like, yeah, I think I deserve the shot. I mean, I showed who I am out there. I showed who I am. He literally just itemized every single consideration that you would have as the UFC brass, and he fucking just went, there's that argument, win, 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 win. What do you got now? He literally itemized every other person who might get a title shot and why he wins over all of them. He's a fucking samurai ninja.
Listen, we're talking about down the line here, but there's a chance, let's say these guys fight in June and then they maybe won't fight again till the end of the year. Is that a potential that you would just sit out and wait that long for the opportunity, or would you want to stay active and keep going?
If it's the belt next, I'll wait. I don't know how long, but I'll wait.
Congratulations, man.
Thanks.
Congrats, Cory. How would you just describe the energy that Des Moines brought? Obviously, I know we talked about it a couple of days ago. Your dad's from Manchester, Iowa. How would you just assess the crowd's energy tonight?
Yeah, that place was packed, man. That was great. I love fighting in these towns. You know, like I fought in San Antonio. It was amazing. I fought in.
I was at that fight. Cory Sandhagen is also my daughter's favorite fighter because I made her, on the ride down there, I made her watch all Sandhagen's highlights. You know, and she was new. That was like, what, two years ago? I don't know. She was like 10 years old. So she got to see all his highlights. She's like, Cory Sandhagen's my favorite. It's like, shit, he's my favorite now too. But yeah, we were at that fight.
Nashville, it was amazing. Coming to these towns is, I've never fought on a pay-per-view, but I'm sure just as fun, if not more fun, than fighting for a pay-per-view, because The energy is just awesome.
Did he just say he's never fought on a pay-per-view? Did Cory Sandhagen just say he's never fought on a pay-per-view? Is that can't be right? I'm sorry. I have to derail this just for a second because that is impossible. I'm looking this up real quick just to see if that's accurate because that is. He fought against Peter Yan at UFC 267, which was Blachowicz versus Teixeira, which was that. Holy shit. Bro. Okay, so he fought UFC 241, Cormier against Miocic in 2019. And since the pandemic, the only pay-per-view card that he fought on was Blachowicz against Teixeira in October of 2021. And that was in the fucking UAE. Bro, get this guy on a fucking pay-per-view card. That's crazy. That's so nuts, man. I had no idea. Okay, so I'm going to let him finish speaking real quick, and then we're going to go over to Bo Nickel.
You come to a town that isn't used to having UFC fights. I talked to a bunch of people in Colorado when I would bump into them on the street the last couple month and a half, and they were like, hey, man, I'm coming to Iowa to see you. So these small shows are awesome, man, and I love getting a lot of support from them, and I'm just grateful to be a part of the UFC and just grateful to be a part of, you know, a sport that's booming right now.
The fight nights are so sick if they're at a city show because first of all, the tickets are less expensive and the environment is identical, you know, identical. And the tickets, yeah, I mean, so you could sit in better seats or like whatever. It's just fucking dope, dude. The UFC puts on the best show on earth, period. Period. Point blank, period. Yeah. It's funny. I guarantee you if Cory like watched my channel, he would think his initial impression of me would be he would think of me as an unserious guy that like he's like, I don't know, whatever. And then if we were like actually at the same academy, we would get along really, really well. When I like people at my jiu-jitsu academy, they're always like, you're like a different person on the channel. I'm like, I mean, I'm by myself just talking shit. You know, like what kind of person could exist in the world if I acted like this in every room that I went into, you know? Where is the fucking thing that he said that like, whatever. He said, he's basically, I'll summarize. He said like, he set out to send a message to everybody that he wants a title shot. And, you know, like that was in his mind was he needed to dominate and destroy Figueiredo. And he just completely did. It was fucking awesome, man. Hold on, let me scroll up real quick. What? 14 people. Is he talking about this thread, this stream? 14 people? Dude, there are 14 people. Oh man, that was a terrible joke. Jeez, that was gonna be a bad joke. What's up, Trey? How are you? Yeah, there's like 500 something people watching, but whoever this person is, hey bro, you should go live and see how many people watch. Hey, go live for an entire year straight and see if you get 14 people to join throughout that entire year. It's one a month, dude. You know, just stay live, right? Walk up to people on the street and be like, hey man, I'm live streaming. Would you mind jumping on so that you could like take a look at it? They're all, I don't know. I'm looking at you right now. Like, you're not that interesting. This is weird. Please, I just need to get to 14. Like, can you just do it? They're all, now you're making me feel uncomfortable. You know, you might be able to get to 14, you know, over 12 months, maybe. You could take their phone and just turn it on and then be like, okay, you can turn it off, dude. That counts. It's like, no, that didn't count, dude. Sorry. You have to, it doesn't count. So you're still at 1, but good one. Oh, okay. Well, that's my bad too then. I was just making jokes. All right. Anyway, so oh, okay, I got you, dude. I was just kidding anyway. All right, so Bo Nickel. Let me run you guys over here. Check this out. All right. So what are we talking about with Bo Nickel? All right. Let's let Chael talk about it from his video like 4 or 5 days ago. Hey, this is what's happened every time I've tried to call Chael while I was live. This is exactly what happens. He just rings and then he never answers, dude. And then calls me back an hour and a half later. I'm like, oh, this doesn't have the impact that it would have, you know. He's going to let it ring for
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail.
All right, that was Bo Nickel. So, in my attempt to show you how cool I am and that I can connect with people, I have apparently failed to connect. But guys, there's legs to this Bo weighs 222 business. I had to cover this on ESPN today. Adam Felters, who has a grand total of 0 wrong takes. I have never caught Felters being wrong. Thinks it could be true. He's not sold on it, but he says, Chael, I don't think this is the troll job that you think. And I just said, well, Adam, from my perspective, there was an edit. From my perspective, when I watch it, there's Bo going to a scale and there's a cut, a real quick cut. And the cut shows you the number on the scale, but it never shows you Bo and the number in the same shot. And if it were real, there would be no edit, there would be no cut. Not to mention, it is filmed with a very uncommercial camera, which I predict to be an iPhone. And you guys film things with your iPhones. When have you ever put it through an edit? There'd be no reason to. Now, the cut is done so well, I'm not 100% sure it exists. There is room ever so slight. See, I feel like I'm being pulled into something. I feel like we win a troll job, and it's an obvious troll job. But, and there is a but, you know, there's something called a water load. This wasn't a thing when I was wrestling. Oh my goodness, the way we cut weight back then, oh my gosh. If I just knew what I knew now and could go back and tell my teammates how to get 10 pounds off, I would have made their lives so much better. But there's something called a water load where you will lose water. You will dehydrate by drinking water.
This shit works, dude. This shit works. When I started doing jiu-jitsu tournaments and had, you know, like, what the fuck, I fucking never had to cut weight for shit, you know, except, yeah, like any of the events I did like way back when, like in like smokers and stuff, was I was in a weight class that I didn't have to cut weight for. And everybody kept telling, they're like, just drink a fuckload of water, dude. And don't worry about the scale for the first 2 days. And I'm like, you know, so just pound water. And I'd be like gaining weight. I'm like, what the fuck? And then day 3, all of a sudden you just drop a fucking shitload of weight. It actually works.
Now you have to get to an
Anyway, point being though, I think everybody can tell where this is going. Bo Nickel had to cut almost 40 fucking pounds for that fight. Okay. Now I realize that under normal circumstances, the analysis that we give on a person's performance is limited to how good were they moving around, how effective were their strikes and defense and grappling and so on and so forth, etc. Okay. So let's say hypothetically that you were going to compete in a sporting event, right? And when you're a kid, you know, it's like the coach of your soccer team is like, all right, guys, I want you guys eating, you know, some good carbs tonight. Have some spaghetti, you know, have some vegetables. Don't eat any sugar. Put all the best stuff in your body. Get your body ready and charged up to go so you'll be able to play your best game. It's like, all right. And then like in the movie Gladiator, right? In the finale, you have this weasel, Joaquin Phoenix Caesar, whose name is escaping me at the moment, which is embarrassing. And you have Maximus, right? And they're going to fight in the Coliseum. That's insane. Maximus is obviously going to destroy and kill the Caesar in front of everyone. But in a shocking twist of narrative in the movie, they stab him in the gut, and then they cover up his wound with his armor and then throw him out there completely compromised, which makes Joaquin Phoenix do much better in the fight than he would have otherwise. So if I was trying to think of ways that I could compromise my ability to like perform at a high level, I think that dropping 40 fucking pounds would be high on the list of things that would make me probably not perform at my best, right? Like probably not perform at my best. I've seen Bo Nickel fight before. I am not saying that he is like a world beater for sure right now and he's going to go through everybody. What I am saying is like, this absolutely could have been a fluke performance based on a horrific weight cut. 36 fucking pounds, 36 pounds. That's nightmare fuel. 36 pounds. I agree with this totally. Weight cut's his fault 100%. I'm not saying it's not his fault. I'm just talking about like when it comes to, is that the Bo Nickel that we should use in our analysis going forward? Like, is that as good as he gets? My guess is that's definitely not as good as he gets. And that was probably a severely compromised version of Bo Nickel because he didn't prepare correctly and had to cut so much fucking weight. I'm not saying, dude, what? Guys, I am not saying he's top 10. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm saying that could have very easily been a heavily compromised version of Bo Nickel due to a horrific weight cut. Like, everybody knows, like, you know, it's like one of those things we talk about. It's like, oh, maybe Strickland had a bad weight cut for that fight. Or like, maybe this guy had a bad weight cut. It's like things that you say words, but you don't actually give anyone any, like, you know, I don't know. You don't give them any relief on your analysis of how they fought. You know, it's like, you know, you say bad weight cut, but in reality, you're like, that guy's not that good actually. So you don't really actually give them credit for that normally. The greatest example of that I could think of is when Francis Ngannou fought against Cyril Gane. And I told you guys, I've told you 100 times, I know for 100% sure that his MCL was torn. And that one of the foremost doctors in America told him, you cannot fight on this knee. Like, you can't do it. Same guy that repaired Kobe Bryant's fucking Achilles told Francis, you cannot fight on that knee. And Francis fought anyway. And I know the guys on his team were super concerned about it. You know, they were like, that his leg was like buckling in practice all the time. Okay. And he still beat Cyril Gane. But people were like, oh, it was a boring performance. It's like he fought him with one leg. Now, Bo Nickel got his ass kicked last night, for sure. It didn't look good at all. I'm just saying that it is a fair thing to give. Like, he's looked great. I know his last fight, whatever, you know, before that one was not amazing. He still won. But like, look at how Paddy Pimblett looked in a couple of his early fights and look at him now. Okay. Bo Nickel still has a super high ceiling. And I think it's fair to assume that his weight cut was probably not very good. Right. He looked totally average last night. 100% agree. He did not look good last night. He looked outmatched in there last night. But that said, again, you might see an improved version of Bo after that loss, or that might break his spirit. Who knows, dude? I don't know. I mean, I don't know his mind. You know what I mean? He's like one of the most accomplished fucking college wrestlers ever. He's an incredible athlete. But getting your ass kicked in the octagon is a big shock to the system. And some people, it turns them into a better version of themselves, and others, it starts a downslide that they can never shake themselves out of. I'm going to use this moment actually to make a point that I did with someone yesterday that I think is actually really important about a different sport, but one of the biggest stories in that sport. Okay. So the Shadur Sanders thing, right? Like during the draft last week or the week before, whatever. So he's projected to go in the top 5 potentially, right? Like, and it's this huge thing, right? Like this huge fucking thing. Where's Shadur Sanders going to get drafted? Deion Sanders' kid. Even if you don't know the story, just hear me out on this, okay? So Shadur Sanders, the thought on him is he's this arrogant, cocky, unearned, like he's going to be a problem in the locker room. Deion is going to be impossible to deal with, whatever. But mostly, like, this kid is this he's going to be like a Johnny Manziel, like huge ego, blah, 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 right? Now, do I have a crystal ball? Fuck no. But what I am very good at is recognizing key indicators that will tell you how they're going to act under certain circumstances and stimulus, okay? And what happened to him during the draft was he got literally dragged in front of the entire world and humiliated. I mean, like, that is a fucking humiliating thing that happened to him. Like, he's out, he makes a whole fucking draft pack. He's got a legendary on the wall. He's just waiting to hear if he's going, number 4 or number 6 or whatever. And then he becomes the biggest story in the nation because instead of how much do teams want me, the NFL could not have made more clear that no one wants him. Not a single team wants him on their team at all. Like, not only do they not consider him a fucking blue chip athlete, draft pick, they don't even want him. Like, they're like, a guy who goes in the 5th round, they're like, we don't want him for free. Like, we don't fucking want this guy. Okay. For a guy that talented to drop that low, that is the consensus in the league. They don't want him. And everybody was all too happy to fucking dance on his grave, right? All over social media. Like, that's, and by the way, for people who were not here earlier, Logan Paul threatened to sue me today. Okay. Like, I have a message from YouTube that you will see in my video tomorrow that is crystal clear. Logan Paul is threatening to sue me and destroy my career. Okay. You can look for that video tomorrow. It'll probably drop around noon. I'm going to make a premiere so you can remind yourself, because you're not going to want to miss that video. My response is it's a response. And here's the thing. With Shadur, right? Like, one of the key indicators of how a quarterback especially is going to perform in the NFL is how do they deal with all of that external pressure? Like, how do they respond to that? Okay. He's a fucking kid, dude. And as much as he's a cocky little prick, okay, a lot of people who carry it like that, it is very thin. Like that aura that seems larger than life. As soon as you fucking crack the exterior of that, they fold. Okay. Now they won't, to a person without a trained eye, they won't be able to see it when it happens, but I can. Okay. Like, I can see the second that that facade cracks and the confidence kind of starts to go like this. And then they start looking annoyed and angry or upset or whatever. Okay. Like, it might not be obvious again. Like, it's very obvious to me, but that situation where he got dragged in front of the entire world. Okay. If he felt that way and his confidence was thin, he would not have been able to hide it when he gave his speech about getting drafted to the Browns. I'm telling you, absolutely for sure, he could not have hidden if he was feeling the way that a cracked person would. And I watched his fucking interview after he got drafted by the Browns, and he is cool as a fucking cucumber. He is not rattled at all. Like, at all. He says, it's just more. I love the adversity. It's just more people to prove wrong. And he fucking means it. Okay. He fucking means it. And I'm going to tell you right now, if I would have been on the draft team for one of these NFL squads and I would have advised them not to pick Shadur, the second that I saw him give that speech to the Browns, I would have told the rest of the guys to be like, we fucked up. We fucked up bad. Like, real bad. That, I'm telling you, bet on that kid to be fucking really good. Bet on that kid to be really fucking good. But the only way you're going to find that out is to throw them into a fucking burning vat of acid and see how they respond. See how they respond. And as ridiculous as it probably sounds to people who like are not super good at like reading people's energy and all that stuff, like if I'm like trying to say that now I know what he's going to do based on a fucking 5-minute speech he gave at a podium, like, believe me, it matters. I mean, there's a lot of other factors. He could get away from his dad a little bit. He should start, banging hookers and doing blow. But he has the mind of a champion. Absolutely, for sure. Like, he has the perfect makeup for what will ultimately be an exceptional quarterback or player. you know. So Bo Nickel, tying it all back, right? It depends on how he takes it. He is, you know, to a smaller extent than Shadur, in the exact same position now, you know. Oh, I thought, hey, I thought Shadur was going to be the top pick of the draft. Oh my God, look at, no one even wanted him. Oh, I thought Bo Nickel was the next guy. Look at, he's got his fucking insides rearranged, dude. Look at Bo, man. He isn't shit. Okay. He got his ass kicked. You're all, hey, how do you think you would do against him? You're all, what? I mean, like if you fought Bo Nickel, how do you think that would go? What? We're not talking about that. It's like, well, you were making fun of him getting beaten up. So I'm saying, like, you know, how do you think you'd do? I don't see how that's relevant. Right. I do, but you know, it's fine. We could do like the Bo Nickel versus 100 of you thing, right? Like the gorilla versus 100 men thing. Yeah. You want to know what like just on that, like right there though, what I realize is the entire criteria of that conversation is just stupid, because you can't just say 100 men. Okay. 100 men versus a gorilla. What if all 100 men are in wheelchairs and are 94 years old? You know, how about 100 wheelchair bound 94-year-olds, right? Or how about like 100 babies? Huh? I guess that wouldn't be a man. Okay. How about like just 100 men who are morbidly obese versus a gorilla? You know, it's like, come on. We need more information, right? And like the comment that I left on one of the videos that I saw today about it is I was like, 100 of me, we beat the gorilla. 100 Ethan Kleins get murked. You know? I'm not the toughest guy in the world, but 100 of me will take that fucking gorilla. You know? 100 Ethan Kleins, I mean, you know, what's one Ethan Klein going to do? It's like die. It's like, what's one Jesse on Fire going to do? Throw myself at one of his legs, except that I'm probably going to get killed. But the next one of me that's on the leg is probably going to be in a better position. And the next one and the next one, if there's 4 of us on one fucking leg, I think we might be in a pretty good spot to get him to the ground, you know? So strength, balls, strategy, you know, experience, taking things to the ground and then knowing how to kill things matters, right? I'm sure most of you, 100 of you, are going to beat the fucking gorilla. The majority of you, I would imagine. Maybe all of you guys, you know, but not Ethan Klein. Not Ethan Klein. And most of the people talking about Bo Nickel, you know, it's like, how many people in a row, you know, if Bo Nickel finishes you, the next version of you comes in, you're completely fresh. Like you're completely fresh. Bo Nickel has to wear the fatigue. Like how many of you do you think Bo Nickel could beat? Because that seems relatively like relevant to me, you know, because I think he probably lands the first head kick that he throws. He could probably throw a lot of fucking leg kicks, man. And you know, you take one leg kick and then one head kick. That's a rough night. You're not even in the wrestling yet. Yeah, you are, dude. Do you know the gorillas are 6 foot? I mean, actually, you know what? I don't know for sure. I'm hypothesizing. And obviously when I say 100 of me are beating the gorilla, I'm assuming that like 30 of me are going to die. You know, like we're not all making it out alive, for the record. Like in my hypothesis, like my hypothetical scenario, like I don't win and all 100 of us are all, nice job, clone Jesse. You know, we're like picking up body parts of a bunch of me's that died. Anyway, there it is. This is honestly probably the most relevant, intuitive comment on this entire conversation. Set a trap, smoke a joint, laugh when it walks right into the trap. Humans, not our physicality, why we survived. Okay, we're smarter than everybody. Oh no, a gorilla, don't run directly this way at the fucking gigantic hole that I, you know, dug in the ground with spikes coming out of it that's thinly covered by, you know, a net that's not going to save you from the spikes. No, don't get me, gorilla. And it's like, brr, brr, brr. Dead. You're all, hey, it didn't take 100 of me. It just took 1 and a couple, you know, well-placed things to drive him down a corridor that I knew would kill him unless he recognized the hole and then somehow could jump much further than he can jump. You know? Okay, I'm going to jump, but I will tell you guys this. Tomorrow, you are not going to want to miss that video that I'm going to drop about Logan Paul saying, like, threatening to sue me on official channels through YouTube, by the way. And also, if you want to see the funniest, like, if you think I'm funny, okay? Not everybody thinks I'm funny. You know, like, certain types of sense of humor think I'm funny. Some people don't. If you're a person who's sense of humor, you think I'm funny, and you want to see the funniest fucking stream I've ever done, you should definitely go watch the one that I did yesterday, which is titled something about, let me see. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it is, hold on. Oh, it's the most recent one that I did before this. So the one last night, Democrat monsters in child trafficking. You won't be able to tell from the thumbnail that it's funny, but it is. It is an hour and a half of me just dropping fucking joke after joke after joke. Again, last night after I watched the Sandhagen fight, I was like, gosh, you know, I told you I get paranoid with that stuff. And I was like, I'm going to watch this stream because I remember saying some things that seem kind of crazy now. I just want to make sure that I think I'm going to be so embarrassed I'm going to take it down. I started watching it and I was crying laughing at my own jokes because, you know, it's just objectively fucking hilarious. So anyway, that's what I got. I love you guys. Peace.